Hello everyone, here we are at Shoreham Airport this time. I'm using Shoreham to practice most of my helicopter hovering manoeuvres. You'll notice as we approach here, they have 3 helipads in quite close proximity to each other. This enables us to practice hovering manoeuvres not only just on one pad, but to transverse from one pad to another, sideways, backwards, left, right, whatever way you want to try. And I'm using some of the techniques I used when I used to fly radio control helicopters, and with that we used to do manoeuvres like nose in hovering, tail in hovering, transverse left and right, and so on. So further on in this video you'll actually see, oh, that's quite quaint, little aeroplane flying or going past in front. Further on in this video you'll see that some of the very basic manoeuvres of just approaching and landing, all well and good, we can do that, and we can lose speed and try and maintain the same height, and sometimes it comes easy, sometimes it doesn't. But going back to basic hovering on the helipads, there's a number of games you can play, which are, one of my favourite ones is the nose in on the H of the circle, and then rotate the helicopter around keeping the nose in facing the H, and then gradually increasing speed. I haven't got it quite off pat with this yet. It's a lot more difficult with this than it was actually with the radio control helicopters. There's also a number of other games you can do, which are placing, I'm going to say, landing lights in the footwell of the helicopter as you're flying around, and also practicing travelling left and right while maintaining the nose of the helicopter forward. Shoreham also benefits from those 2 very large radio masts in the distance there. That's a great place to fly off to and practice figure of 8 manoeuvres in both directions. You can do it slowly because round each mast is a circle of green grass that you can follow the line and then transverse over to the other one. But at the moment here we are just practicing moving from one pad to another, and then squaring up, rotate the helicopter so you're in line with the H, move on to the next one, and then position the helicopter and then move back onto the main pad again. Now when you're doing these manoeuvres and it's solo, this cushion of air that the helicopter sits on makes it very difficult for precise hovering. You will tend to roll off in one direction or another, so you are constantly battling the position, and really that's half the fun, trying to keep control of well, a beast of rotating parts that shouldn't really fly in some respects. So here we are, we're approaching this pad here, we'll rotate left, line up, and then move forward onto the pad with the lights on. They're all very simple manoeuvres, but it's amazing that after 5 or 10 minutes how the brain can fade and mistakes start happening. We're going to rotate round now, quite a precise rotation, try and get it in line dead with the H. I'm using an Oculus 3D headset here, so it does make life very easy positioning exactly over a H. I never did find that the track IR worked in the same way, and doing it on a flat screen is even harder, so in some respects this has made life a great deal easier. So we're going to fly off over to the 2 radio masts here, and you'll see the green circle that I was talking about earlier. As I mentioned, most of us prefer turning left or right. We have a bias one way or the other, and practicing figure of 8 manoeuvres with the helicopter and the tail rotor control is a great way of trying to counteract that tendency for us all. So I do one slow circuit here, just following round, get on the edge of the green circle, trying to keep the nose of the helicopter in one particular position, and then I'll speed it up a bit and do one fast rotation. And then after the fast rotation, head back towards the landing pads. Now, I've never actually found it that easy to lose speed and maintain height at the same time, and I don't do it too bad on this one because we're not coming in that fast and I don't have to do such a large flare, but I do have a habit of coming in too fast, dropping the collective when you raise the nose, finding myself well above the height I want to be at, and end up hovering and then doing a gradual descent that way. Right, here we are doing what I call the nose in hover practice. So we place the nose of the helicopter in the centre of the H and try and rotate round and keep it around the circumference of the concrete pad. Now I managed to keep this going for a little bit here and then lose control and end up doing a small spin. Now, after this small spin, I actually move a bit further out and do the same manoeuvre again with the nose of the helicopter aiming at the centre of the H and then trying to rotate and balance the tail rotor so that it's constantly pointing towards the H. The further out you are, the easier it is. But as you can see, maintaining a constant height and a constant speed is extremely difficult. So now we're going to go back to the centre of the pad, and as you can see, trying to keep the nose on the H. Very, very good practice for tail rotor control. Now on this one I'm doing a transverse left and right. I'm using the green line of the runway ahead and moving the helicopter to the left, killing the speed off, getting it stationary and then moving back towards the right again while maintaining a forward aspect. So again, just another quick rotation round. Here I'm going to try and place the landing lights in the footwell of each corner as I approach it. This really does make for quite precise hovering. It's quite a tight area, but if you can get the lights in each footwell, maybe stay stationary for a bit longer than I am here, it's very, very good practice. And then I'm not doing it on this one, reverse the procedure, placing them in the other footwell and going round the other way is a good practice as well. So now we're going to return back to the centre of the H and rotate the helicopter round. And again, trying to just keep it very precise, keep it in the footwell so you know exactly where you are and that you don't wander off too far. I'm just trying a quick move to the right, move to the back, and then go back left, trying to kill that speed off without overdoing it. And then back to the centre of the H. Really just practicing those very, very fine manoeuvres. Now what I'm doing here is I'm actually rotating with the towel over the H. I'm trying to keep it within the yellow circle. Bit of a dip there in collective, but it's a good practice to try these things, and if you can keep it within that yellow circle you're doing very, very well. Now I always like to finish off with an auto rotation, and my way of doing it is to get some forward speed and then give it full collective, basically until the torque meter gives up and there's an enormous bang and the lights start flashing, and here we go. And then really what you need to do is look down, pick a spot for landing, pick up some forward speed and drop the collective. As you hear the rotors build up, you've still got control on the way down, and this is going to be a running auto. And then just before you're down, apply the collective again, quite near the ground. Oh, quite lucky there, and looks like we're dead in line with the cone coming up. Couldn't be more perfect. That doesn't often happen. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it gives you some encouragement to practice hovering control, and give it a thumbs up if you do. If you know any better places for practicing hovering, send some comments or email me. So if you know a better place, please let me know, and thank you for watching.